Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to cover a topic that is very common. So if you are one of these people who is really good Monday to Friday and then the weekend comes and you start binging and you hit the F it button, this video is for you, because you might be absolutely fantastic with your nutrition, with your steps, with your training and your sleep Monday to Friday, but you know, a one meal off is not going to impact that, but a whole weekend can potentially work against your progress, basically. So I'm going to explain this to you because it's not about discipline, it's not that you're addicted to food, it's not that you are broken. I'm going to explain the actual psychology and then tell you how to fix it. Let's dive in. So the first thing being first is, why does this happen? Why do people do it? And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see, okay? People believe that they have to eat chicken, rice and broccoli in order to progress and make changes effectively. They believe that they need to be perfect, no meals out, no chocolate, no treats, no social life. And as much that is really motivating in the first week or the first few days, it eventually starts to fall off. It's just like filling a balloon. So every time you say, I can't have that, I can't eat this, I'll just be good, I'll wait until the weekend, you keep feeding this balloon and the balloon gets really big until it can't hold anything anymore, and then the balloon pops. And what happens when the balloon pops? That's the weekend release, and that isn't the problem. So let's keep on going. First thing being first is you're probably heavily under eating, okay? Most people, especially women, when they start a diet, they straight away cut to 1200 to 1500 calories. That is a huge deficit, and that is where you should be ending your deficit, not starting it. And then on top of that, you're training 5 days a week, you're going to HIIT and spin classes, so you're doing 10,000 steps, and you're juggling work, life and your kids. So of course you are going to be hungry. Your body isn't trying to sabotage you in any way, shape or form. It is actually trying to help you survive through the stress that you are putting it through. And the more energy that you restrict, the hunger becomes more and more. And then you start overeating and say, I have no self-control. No, it's not that you don't have self-control. You just ignored the signals that your body was sending you. Now, mental restriction is just as bad, okay? Just because you might not necessarily be restricting your calories, but if you are mentally restricting things, it is just as bad. And what I mean by that is labeling food as good or bad, like I can't have a piece of chocolate, or that bread is bad for you, or that pizza will ruin your whole progress. So the more something becomes forbidden, the more that you think about it, right? If somebody says to you, don't press this red button, but hold it, the intrusive thought is coming in, right? And you're gonna wanna press that button. Another example, imagine if I said to you, for the next 30 seconds, don't think about chocolate. Obviously, that's the first thing you're going to want to think about because I just told you not to do it and I mentioned it. This is normal. This is natural human instinct. And food works the exact same way. So if you keep telling yourself you can't have something, eventually all you're going to do is think about it and want it and probably cave into it. Now, having a social life is also not a problem because naturally weekends are where life happens for us, right? Dinners, date nights, birthdays, brunches, breakfast out with your best friend. And now the problem isn't actually going to these social events and these situations, but the problem is going into these situations deprived. Because all week you've been waiting for this one cheat meal, and then you have that cheat meal and all of a sudden you want to eat the world. And then what happens? Instead of just enjoying that meal, you start blaming yourself. Oh no, I ended up eating everything, I've ruined my whole progress, there's no point carrying on. And then we fall into this self-pity that we are as humans sometimes. So then you spend a whole Saturday feeling guilty about what you ate, and then you think, well, Sunday I may as well, there's just no point starting, so I'll just carry on another day. And then Monday you start again, and over that weekend you've probably consumed 3 times more calories than you have done during the week. So how do we break this cycle? And this is what I teach every single one of my clients. The first thing is eat consistently. Stop trying to survive from Monday through to Friday, because your calories should be something that you can actually stick to. It's not a competition of who can eat the lowest calories. It's about finding and eating the most food possible while still making progress. Number 2, stop trying to earn your food, okay? And this stems back to being a kid. Like if you were good, you'd get rewarded with cake, okay? Or sweets or lollipops, whatever. We need to stop using food as a reward. But it also isn't a punishment either because you ate too much, okay? So no punishment, no reward from food. Food is fuel. You don't need to burn off that dinner that you had yesterday, and you don't need to deserve a dessert. Just simply eat like a normal human being, because that's what food is there for, to fuel us and to keep us alive. So detaching from that emotion is really important. Number 3 is include food that you enjoy during the week, okay? Obviously, if you are restricted to the point where you're not allowed certain things due to intolerances, it's a little bit different. But if you want chocolate, have a little bit of chocolate. Don't cut it out completely. If you can't have dairy, have dark chocolate. Eventually that will start to taste nice because you're not eating as many sweet things. Have date, something else that is sweet. Have sweet stuff in your nutrition plan so that then when it comes to finishing the diet, you're not binging on these things because you already had them in your nutrition plan. Just plan around it, because when food becomes normal, it loses its power. It loses its control over you completely. Number 4 is plan your weekends, because most people react, whereas successful people, they plan. So if you know you're going out on Saturday, amazing, great stuff. Just make sure that you get your protein in for earlier that day. Make sure you have, you are on plan 90% of the time, so Monday to Friday and then Sunday as well. Making sure that we are not going out hungry. Maybe bank some calories earlier in the week to save for that meal out. And get your training in, get your steps in, get your sleep in, stay hydrated, tick every other box so that when you go out, you know you've done everything else around it. So one thing I really want you to remember and take away from this is that if your plan only works from Monday to Friday, it doesn't actually work. Because real fat loss happens when you enjoy real events, real birthdays, real dinners out, real celebrations, without feeling like you have ruined absolutely everything. Because the goal isn't to be perfect, right? The goal is to sustain this lifestyle for the rest of your life. So you need to do something that is sustainable, maintainable, and works for you all year round. So if this sounds like you, and you feel like you're constantly in this yo-yo vicious cycle, you just need a real plan. And you know where to find me if you need support, at Dawn Blundscott on Instagram, at herhealthcoaching.co is my website, and you've also got below all my different platforms that you can join, free resources, etc. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.